Welcome back, team. Today I'm going to teach you how to properly shoot in the snow. So when it comes to snow images, there's two settings that play a crucial role to getting nice crispy white snow images straight out of camera. So the first setting is white balance. So all the older tutorials on shooting in snow will tell you to crank your Kelvin right up to a really warm Kelvin, like 6,500 or something quite warm, to counteract the coolness of the white snow. But on modern mirrorless cameras, you really don't need to do that. Every camera is different, and what you need to do is find the Kelvin that works for you and adjust it manually to shoot in whatever Kelvin gives you crispy white snow. On my Sony cameras, it's usually about 4,800 Kelvin, depending on whether it's blue sky days or cloudy. But with modern mirrorless cameras, there's really no need to shoot those super warm Kelvins to counteract the snow. You're just going to end up with yellow snow. That's a personal pet peeve of mine, seeing people shooting in snow and making the images yellow because they don't know how to use white balance. So setting number 2 is going to be exposure compensation. So when I'm shooting in the snow, it's usually sports related, snow sports related. So I'm shooting in manual mode, but I'm shooting auto ISO and I'm using exposure compensation. So that dial right there, that's your exposure compensation dial. And on a sunny day, I'll be cranking that up and leaving it at about +1. So I'm one stop overexposed. Obviously you can do this manually through using manual ISO, but for me, exposure compensation is the lifesaver. Because when a camera shoots in a fully white environment, it registers that white as medium gray. So if you don't overexpose your images, your snow is going to come out gray, not white. Then you have to bump the exposure up in post. So to get it right in camera, exposure compensation is one of the key settings that you need to learn and get dialed in to make those nice crispy white snowy images straight out of camera. So let's jump into Lightroom. I'll quickly show you some images out of camera and all I have to do to edit them and what they look like afterwards. So here we are in Lightroom. So I've just got a couple of random images here and I'm just going to quickly show you how easy it is to process snow images when you shoot them properly. So this is the raw image, as you'll see. And you can see the whites are white, the shadow, this is on a blue sky day, the shadows aren't too blue because I've got my white balance right, and the whites already look crispy, and they already look crispy and white and not grey because of that overexposing. So all I've got to do for my edit, go over here to my Snow 23 preset, chuck it on, and even just like that, done. Export, and I'm finished. So you'll see the simple settings that have been adjusted for this preset. We've taken out a little bit of highlights, we've added a tiny bit, raised the shadows a tiny bit, a fair bit of contrast, but the main thing here is this blue. So we've taken these blues out of the shadows. So if I add that blue back in, you'll see we're getting that blue reflection from the blue sky onto the snow. So we don't need to touch any other color. All we need to do is drop the blues just to get rid of that blue sky reflection off the snow. The snow acts like a big mirror, and you'll get the same problem if you shoot your white balance too cool. Those shadows will have a lot of blue cast in them. So like I said, the actual adjustments of the edit are very basic, just like you do on any other raw image, but because it's shot correctly out of camera, as you can see here again, crispy white snow, that's that overexposure. Chuck our preset on, done, just like that, ready to go. So there's not a great deal of editing involved, and again, the adjustments are only just what you do on a regular image, other than taking that blue out so you're not getting such a blue reflection off the snow. Even then, adding the blue, you can see because I've shot it right in camera, I'm not getting blue shadows. My shadows still look natural, but I like to take that blue out just to make it look even more natural. And if we come up here and look under white balance, as I mentioned before, 4,800 Kelvin. And you'll find I'll shoot a lot of my snow images on that. Again, what works for your camera might be a bit different, but that's what works for my cameras. So next time you're going to shoot in snow, whether it be snow sports or faster action stuff like I do, or weddings or portraiture, if you want that crispy white snow, remember those two settings. White balance and exposure compensation, or overexposing manually by at least a stop or 2/3 of a stop. That's how you're going to get those crispy white snowy images. And this is something that I get asked a lot, being that I shoot in snow a lot. So that gives you an idea of how I do things and how simple it is to get your images right straight out of camera and streamline that editing process. So that's all for today. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. You.